One Qur'anic phrase has sparked debate among Muslim scholars for centuries. When the Qur'an mentions Allah's hand, what does it really mean? For over 1,000 years, Muslim scholars have given not one, but 3 different answers. Let's discover why.
Okay. Now here we have different, approaches, schools to understand, these verses. Got it? Different schools or different approaches or different methodologies. Got it? About these interpreting these such verses. The first approach is the Mu'tazila's approach. The second one is, the Ash'ari's approach. The Ash'arites, traditionalist approach. And there is a literalist approach. Actually, Ash'arites approach and the literalistic approach, they both are same. There is no difference in the core. In the core, they are same, interpretation. Got it? Only difference is with the Mu'tazila. They argue that the anthropomorphic descriptions must be understood metaphorically. So we cannot translate these verses literally. So when we say Yadullah or Wajhullah, so we don't say that Allah's hand, mean the limb. So we cannot translate this. Instead, we should say Allah's power, because hand indicates the quwwah, the power, right? And when we say Allah istawa ala al-arsh, Allah, he's seated, on the throne. So they says, don't say that he's seated. Say Allah's dominion. Allah is sovereign. Allah is transcendent. That is their, translation or interpretation for the verses. Got it? So they understood, so such verses, according to Mu'tazila, they are understood metaphorically or poetically, in poetic way, rhetorically, not literally. What is the problem, to translate these verses, literally? So according to them, the problem is that if we believe them, in literal sense, they lead to compromise the Tawhid. They say that Tawhid gets affected. Tawhid gets affected by this. If we say Allah's hand and we intend that a limb, so it means we are making tashbih. This is blasphemy. This is kufr. Not only kufr, it is shirk. To preserve Tawheed, to defend Tawheed, they say that we must interpret these verses poetically or metaphorically. Like I said, Yad means the power and Istawa al-Arsh means the dominion. Got it? That is the first approach we have. Second approach, is the Ash'arites approach, Ash'ari's approach, and it is also known as the traditionalist approach. The traditional scholars, the mainstream scholars, their approach. So this is, and I told you that Ash'ari's approach and this literalist approach, they both are same. So Ash'ari says that, and Ash'ari means the Imam Malik, Imam Abul Hasan al-Ash'ari, and before Imam Abul Hasan al-Ash'ari, the Imam Malik, and Imam Abu Hanifa and other scholars. Imam Ash'ari, he came later and he consolidated all the, all the thoughts that, that were there, out there before him. So he just consolidated, he developed them and make a mazhab. And this mazhab is called Ash'ari. Otherwise, all the previous scholars, they had the same, thoughts. Ash'ari and Imam Malik, they maintained that God is beyond human comprehension. So here in this point, they agree with the Mu'tazila. Mu'tazila also says that Allah is beyond our, imagination. So they also agree that. And they accepted these descriptions. Only difference is that we accept these verses as it is, as they are. Mu'tazila, they define them metaphorically. But the Ahlus Sunnah, Ash'ari and Imam Malik, Imam Ahmad and the others, they describe that we accept these verses as it is. Yadullah mean Yadullah, Allah has hand. Allah has hand. But Bilā Kayf, without Kayf. Kayf means modality. Modality means we are not allowed to ask how. How is his hand? We accept that Allah has face. We cannot deny this. So if we deny this, Allah doesn't have face or hand, then what is the point in this verse? Why Allah mentioned this? Okay, so it is rejecting the verse based on logic and reason. So we have to, at least we have to accept that Allah has face, but after that we have to add, without asking how, without, modality. Got it? There is a very famous, saying of Imam Malik in this regard. This was a very big controversy, back in those days, even now also. So Imam Malik, he said, Al-Istiva ma'loom mean Istiva word, sitting on throne. This, its meaning literally, it is ma'loom, it is known. We know that through dictionary. But wal kayfu majhul, its modality, how it is, its modality, its nature, it is unknown. Wasu'alu anhu bid'atun, and asking about the specification, asking about the modality, it is innovation, it is heresy, it is bid'at. So this phrase, this sentence, it is the khulasa, it is the summary of this whole big topic. And this statement, it gives us the whole, the Sunnis point of view regarding the mutashabihat, regarding such matter, the anthropomorphic, verses. So al-istiwa'u ma'lum, such verses, their meaning is known. But wal kayfu majhul, means the modality and their nature, that means how his hand, how his sitting. So this modality is unknown. Was-su'alu anhu bid'ah, and asking about the modality, it is bid'at, it is heresy. Okay, now if you study the literalistic approach, the literalistic, this one. So this was, the Ash'ari's approach, but there is another approach called literalistic, and it is sometimes it is affiliated to Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. Means he believed in the literal meaning only. Got it? But in essence, it is the same as the Ash'ari's approach. So they say that they say we accept that God possesses hand and face, but we insist that these features are not like human characteristics. Mean the consisting upon the blood, flesh, and bones. It is not like that. So attributing a human-like body to Allah, it is denounced, it is condemned, rejected. So Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal and Imam Shafi'i, they are the main figures, considered in this literalistic view. So as an act of, they consider it unbelief and blasphemy. Mean believing that Allah has the hand just like ours, so it is a blasphemy. It is kufr. So see, there is no difference between the Ash'ari's opinion and the literalistic opinion. I can tell you a difference here. Ash'ari and the other, they believe that we can metaphorically, interpret these verses also. We can metaphorically interpret. We accept that what is meant by these verses, we believe in that. And we say that Yadullah, Allah's hand, without any modality. We accept it. We cannot reject this. We cannot deny this, because it is the verse. If denying its meaning, denying the verse. So we accept it. But moreover, after that, one step further, we say that we can interpret these verses, differently. Like Yadullah means Allah's power. And Istawa al-Arsh means Allah's dominion. Allah is dominant upon everyone. Allah is Aziz. Allah is Ghalib, sovereign. Got it? He is sacrosanct. So dominion, Aziz and sacrosanct. Their point is that although these verses, they are problematic, in their appearance, in their essence. So why don't we, make an interpretation for these verses? So instead of saying Allah's hand, we say that Allah's power. So nobody can object us. Nobody can, have any question about what is meant by these verses. So to remove objections, to remove questions, because you cannot, you cannot avoid the human curiosity. All human beings, they are not like, equal. They are not same. So there are some people, they prefer to question. So if they question, how will you accommodate that? Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal and the literalist scholars like Ibn Taymiyyah also. Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, they says that just say to them, we believe in hand, but we don't think what kind of hand. We don't think that how it would be. Bilā Kayf. So they says we believe in the literal meaning, but without kayf, without how, without saying how. But Ash'ari says, why don't you make interpretation? So just leave a room for interpretation. Interpretation means the metaphorical descriptions, just like Mu'tazila. So Mu'tazila also says the same thing. No? They also says that we should understand these verses metaphorically, like Allah's hand means Allah's power. So what is the difference between Mu'tazila and Ash'ari then? Question rises. Mu'tazila and Ash'ari, what is the difference between two? The difference between Mu'tazila and Ash'ari is that Mu'tazila don't accept the literal meaning, the hand. They don't accept it. They say that this is a metaphor to the power. It is not like that there is a hand. Allah possesses a hand. There is no room for this. Mu'tazila deny literal meaning. Ashaira don't deny the literal meaning. That is the difference. That is a distinction between two. But a step further, they both agree to interpret them metaphorically. So Ashaira says that we can intend the metaphorical meaning here, just to address the questions, just to address, to confront our enemy who raises question, on such matters. And they says, philosopher, they says there are some verses in Quran, the believers, they don't know their meaning. Yeah, the believers, they don't know their meaning. So here, some scholars, the literalist, they cannot address them. No? What they would say to them? They would say that, no, we just believe in them and it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. So we have to take it as it is. So there is no logic, there is no reason. But if we say the Ash'ari's approach, that no, we know the meaning. The meaning is the Allah's power. So now we accommodated their questions and we responded to them. Okay, so that is only a thing which is based on preference. What is your polarity? What is your preference? Got it? Our Salaf Salihin, they don't, the Sahaba and the early scholars, they don't like this tawil, this metaphorical interpretation. They don't like it. Like I mentioned, Imam Malik said, al-istiwa'u ma'lum wal kayfu majhul was su'alu anhu bid'ah. Don't ask about that. So they don't leave room for the question. Got it? So they are called Ashabu Tafweed. Ashabu at-Tafweed. Tafweed mean they just designate the meaning to Allah. They just says that we don't know the meaning, so it is, it is referred to Allah. He knows that. What we are obligated to do, we are obligated to just believe in that. And we believe it. Got it?
Deserves an evidence-based answer. Subscribe to Scholarly Arabic and Islamic Studies, where we don't just learn Islam, we explore it.